Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Yahoo Sports coverage of MMA and specifically UFC 220. One of the best fighters in the world, one of my favorite fighters to watch. I think right now, the best heavyweight of all time in the UFC is Stipe Miocic. How are you, champ?
Good, brother. How you doing?
I am doing awesome. I think you got Dana White going crazy with this fight with Francis Ngannou in Boston on Saturday night. He can't wait for that match. How has training camp been for you? Has this been any different than any of your other camps?
No, just like every camp has been amazing. I had a great guys come in and train me, and my coaches, great game plan. I'm healthy and just waiting for Saturday. Wish it was here already.
You are a remarkable fighter because of your great athleticism, but also because of all the things that you do. I know you've been spending time, kind of working and marketing yourself. You're still a full time fireman. You bought a big home. You're on a couple acres now? Is that correct in Cleveland?
Yeah, I mean, house is it's not massive. It's a bigger house, but we got a lot more land, which I wanted.
And so are you doing like, like especially now, like in the winter, it's crazy. I imagine you're out there digging snow out and doing all that kind of stuff. Is that giving you a little bit extra training time?
I guess, yeah. No, I got a pretty nice snow blower, and it's just like therapeutic.
Are you
It keeps me minded, and just I love doing it.
are you handy around the house? Can you do stuff? Are you building things or no?
I'm trying. I'm learning, but usually I break it first, and then I got to fix it again. So. Uh,
That's funny. How is your, I know marketing wise, your team has really been trying to, get your profile out there. And I thought that, Modelo commercial seems like maybe the first big breakthrough. You've done some other things. Talk about that experience filming that commercial with them and when people could start seeing that in a regular rotation.
Yeah, I'm super excited to team up with Modelo. It's an amazing company. The amazing beer. I love their beer, which is a great thing. But yeah, just the people that their mentality, the fighting spirit. I love everything about their fighting spirit because like that's what I'm all about. And I think we fit well together. And that's it's an everyday grind, and that's what they're all about. And that's what they want to show forth to people and tell them what it's all about. And that's what I am. And I think both of us together are amazing. And I just one thing is the company is amazing. The people that work for that company are absolutely amazing, and it's one of the funnest companies I work for so far.
Give us a little hint about the commercial and for people who haven't seen it, what it's like, how what you did in it, and how it will portray you.
Uh, yeah, commercial should be in a couple of weeks. Um, it's just me being a fireman, doing the fireman stuff, and then also in the octagon, which is pretty cool, with the UFC and all that. So it's got a little both ends of it, and and it has my mom in it too, which is pretty cool. She actually came with me to do it, so which is actually fun because my mom never really likes the whole media outlet thing, but she was all about it. So I was so happy she come hang out with me and got to do it with me.
You certainly are very good with the media, and certainly a guy that I think has a lot of potential to even really lift your game. Do you feel like with if you win this this Francis fight in big fashion, that you can take yourself to that level where now you're not only becoming one of the best fighters, but also one of the best sellers because you have the personality and you kind of have the fighting style. I think if maybe people get to know you in a fight like this, where you're fighting a guy that people think is a monster, that maybe it'll elevate you to that level.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm going to worry about getting that W on 20th, which I will. I mean, nothing's going to change. I'm going to walk out and still with the belt still wrapped around my waist. Nothing's going to change. But yeah, I'll worry about that after the fight. But right now, it's task at hand.
Why do you think Francis has resonated with so many people? I know you've said in the past that you thought maybe the UFC was rooting for him to win. What was it? What is it about Francis that makes him resonate with the public and maybe with the UFC as well? What, in your opinion, what is it?
He's a big dude that hits hard. I mean, that's what people want. I mean, people love knockouts, and he's going out there and he's knocking people out. I do the same thing, but I guess I'm not as big as he is and terrifying, I guess. So just a regular fireman guy that likes to fight. so and I don't know, I just he's a tough guy. He hits hard and he's been knocking guys out. But it is what it is.
When you stood face to face with him in Las Vegas at the press conference a couple of weeks ago, anything stand out about you? Was he as big as you thought? Was he smaller? I mean, was there anything that you noticed that you took away from that?
He has sunglasses on. I didn't notice that. Uh, but that's about it. I mean, yeah, he's another big guy. I mean, I fought big guys before, but that's about it.
You know, I think when you won the title, you won the fight basically going backwards, and I can't remember too many. I've covered boxing for 30 some years, and I've covered MMA for going on to 20 years now, and I can't remember too many people ever scoring a knockout, especially against a world class fighter, while backing up. How do you get leverage? That punch with Verdum, a little short right hand. Verdum is coming at you, you're backing away from him. How do you get the leverage on that kind of punch to be able to do the damage that you did?
You just training, man. We actually do that angle a lot. Just we got the good right angle and just work on countering, and we worked on that for years. And just best time was to do it a championship fight. It worked out perfect. He kept running after me. Just got that angle and dropped the hammer, and it worked out well.
You always hear like golf coaches and like when I was hitting mitts one time, the boxing coach was saying, okay, now turn into it just like you're swinging a golf club, right? And it seemed like for you it was like all upper body, almost an all arm motion, and then you see Verdum's reaction. I mean, were you able to kind of get any torque into it, twist, or is that an upper body shot?
No, definitely got torque on it. I definitely my hips turned into it. It's like swinging a baseball bat. Just you're throwing your hips into it, and I just what it is, just watching, waiting, and I parried his punch, and there was his chin wide open, and I just turned into it.
How much do you think in this fight wrestling is going to be a factor? You were a very good wrestler at Cleveland State. I think you were at one point 15th or 16th in the country. And if you had wrestled your last 2 years, who knows if you had been an All-American. How much do you think wrestling will be a factor given the fact that he's a striker and you're a striker? Do you think wrestling will take over in this fight?
Maybe not. I'm going to go out there and look for my opportunities for anything. It's mixed martial arts, so anything can happen. If that takedown's there, I'm going to go for the takedown. If not, then I'll keep working and get my angles and just chip away and pop shot him until I get the right opportunity to knock him out.
You have, stood up with a striker before and won. You beat Junior Dos Santos. You beat Overeem, and even your first fight, I think, with Dos Santos, where you lost a decision. It was a close fight, fight of the night type fight. Could have gone either way. But given your all around game, don't you have to feel like your advantage over Francis is the fact that in addition to your experience, that you have more to your game than just one dimension?
Yeah, I definitely feel that way. But it's a fight, so anything can happen, man. He can throw one of those big haymakers he's got and catch me, but if I'm ready, or keep my hands up. So, listen, if I do everything I'm supposed to, it's gonna be a great night for me. I'm gonna walk out and still, which I will.
A lot of time when you have, they say a 200-pound guy hits you on the chin, you go. And I know you never want to test your chin, but do you find out via sparring, or have you found out via fights about yourself? And do you feel confident that if you need to and you can stand in the pocket with him, that if he lands something, you could take it?
No, definitely. I mean, I just want to take it on the chin like anything. I mean, I don't care who you are. I don't care how good your chin is. It just takes one. So I'm not gonna give him the opportunity. Keep my hands up, stay moving, and just not give him any opportunity to give me the clean shot.
He certainly has been so overwhelming in his fights that we haven't seen, if he has a guy standing in front of him and how he deals with movement and how he deals with some of these other things. It's like he's this buzzsaw that's blowing guys away. Do you have any sense, if he can deal with, angles and some of these other things from what you've seen of him?
Yeah, I see. I watched a lot of film on him, and nothing I haven't seen before.
Are you a believer in film? I mean, are there things that you pick tendencies out? Like, how do you do it? Like, do you watch multiple fights and say, okay, he's doing the same thing at the same time in different fights?
Yeah, I look for his tendencies. I look for his greatness, his good things. I also look for his bad qualities. And we try to work on not getting hit with the good qualities, and we're countering the bad qualities.
The one thing, if you win this, you will set the UFC record for the most consecutive. When you win this, you will set the record for the most consecutive successful heavyweight title defenses. 3, and I am not dissing 3 at all, but it does not seem in the history of UFC that 3 is a very big number. Why do you think it's been so hard for heavyweights to keep the title over all this time?
Just big guys. Anything can happen. It doesn't matter who it is. It's a big man with small gloves on. It just takes one. A guy has a bad night, and that's what it is. That's all I really say. There's not really much leniency in heavyweight division when guys are throwing bombs.
Your 2 losses as a professional were, I mentioned Junior Dos Santos and also to Stefan Struve. Do you feel like sometimes they say you'll learn more from a loss? Do you feel like from those that you picked up and became a better fighter because of the experience you were through on the negative end with those 2 guys?
Oh, 100%. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And, losing those two guys definitely made me a way better fighter and just showing where I needed to be and knowing that I could be a heavyweight champ just from those two losses 100%.
The Dos Santos fight, you could have easily won, and I know you probably think you won the fight, and he got the decision, the first Dos Santos fight, of course. But the fight with Struve was the one where you got stopped in the fight. Can you tell me a little bit about, like, after you watched that fight, were there things that you looked at, you said, hey, I obviously can do this, but I made a mistake, or did you give him credit and say he just had a good night?
Well, he definitely had a good night. I mean, it wasn't my night; it was his night. He definitely won the fight. He did everything he was supposed to. I only watched the fight one time.
Really? Okay. Do you have it in, like, hey, in the back of my mind, I want to get that one back. You beat Junior, so now the only man that's ever beaten you that hasn't been avenged is been Stefan. If you get past Francis, is he in your mind at all? Kind of like what Lennox Lewis did. He beat every man he ever faced. Does that ever appeal to you?
Yeah, definitely, of course. I mean, definitely get that, try get that loss off my record. I lost him, so I'm trying to get that win back. But right now, no, I'm just worried about Francis. That's all I care about, and we'll worry about that after the fight.
Give us a prediction. How I know you're going to win. You say you're going to win. How is the fight against Francis going to end on Saturday?
You'll find out when I get my hand raised.
All right. Well, good luck, Stipe. I appreciate you, man. Stipe Miocic, UFC heavyweight champion, main event, UFC 220 in Boston. See you, man.
Hey, a quick question: is that a Pittsburgh logo up there?
That is, yes, that is a Pittsburgh
I
logo.
didn't see it until now.
Uh
I would have done an interview then.
oh. Well, you know what? The Browns are going to get the Steelers one of these days. We know that's happening.
All right. Well, you have a great day, man. Thank you so
You
much.
too. Thank you, Stipe. See ya.